Bagman is a new PG-13 horror film directed by Colm McCarthy. I have no idea why I went out and saw this, let alone decided to sit down and record a review afterwards, because it was difficult enough to find a theater that was actually playing this. AMC is screening it for the next couple of days with like one showing per day, so I don't think many people have interest in seeing it. But because horror is my favorite genre, I try to see as much as I can, even the stuff that looks like it's going to be bottom of the barrel trash, which this certainly did. I can't say that I didn't watch the trailer for this and immediately think of other horror films with man in the end of their title, such as Slender Man, the Bye Bye Man, or as I've seen many people dub it on the internet, the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man. Just all of these boogeyman-centric horror films tend to be pretty shitty, with the exception of The Empty Man. That one proved that films within this subgenre can actually be decent. In Bagman, Pat, played by Sam Claflin, must face his childhood fear as a demon from his past returns to threaten his family, and more specifically his son. I would call this a slow burn, but it's actually more of a slow bore. There's a difference between a film that slowly ratchets up tension and a film that's just boring through and through. This, like 75% of this movie is Sam Claflin walking around outside of his house with a baseball bat after his security system malfunctions, hearing strange noises in the darkness, but never finding anything that actually poses a threat to him, at least not until the third act. In terms of redeeming qualities, let's get those out of the way first, because I always like to sift through the trash to find at least something that I appreciated in any project. And this one, Sam Claflin, he's a likable actor. He's charismatic. I don't think he's ever been bad in anything, and he does the best that he can with the minimal amount of material that was given to him in the script for this movie. The sound design was decent in a few moments as well. There's a point where you hear a sound over a baby monitor that I actually thought was pretty effective, but there are other moments where the sound design is terrible. For instance, the Bagman often taunts his victims by opening and closing his giant bag. And it's such a loud sound effect that at first it sounded to me like a chainsaw revving rather than a zipper being zipped. It was really overdone and never scary. That's the other problem with this film, and you could probably predict based on its PG-13 rating that it's not going to be very intense or frightening, and it's not. There are a couple of jump scares here and there, none of which got me. They were totally telegraphed. The monster design is generic as shit. The way he's utilized makes him boring as hell. For some reason, whenever he's shown on screen, the director decided to do these quick cuts to make it look like he's teleporting. Totally ruined any immersion I had in the scene and makes the character even less terrifying. And then the ending comes around and tries to pull this bait and switch on us like, ha, I bet you didn't see this coming. I thought it was pretty predictable. Add to that, the story is full of cliches, like the most generic things you can possibly imagine, all the way down to a Bagman lore dump sequence in which Pat's therapist of all characters basically vomits all of this information to the audience about the history of Bagman in folklore. I just did not care. There was not a single interesting element to this family. It's awful. This is one of the worst films of the year. It's probably the worst horror film. I try to think of what could possibly be worse. As bad as some of the other horror films are that we've gotten this year, I think I like The Strangers Chapter 1 more than I liked this. I like Night Swim more than I like this. Hell, even Tarot at least had some fun elements to it, and it had great creature design. This doesn't have that. The ending was kind of messed up, I guess, but then it goes for this overly sentimental scene that's meant to tug at your heartstrings. And when you haven't established a dynamic in which I'm invested in the characters at all, of course that's gonna fall flat. Bagman gets 1 star. Why 1 star instead of a half a star? As I said before, I think Sam Claflin tries his best, and I do kind of appreciate the bleakness of the ending, even if everything else about it pissed me off. So there are my quick thoughts on Bagman. Don't go see this. Go see literally anything else. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like while you're at it if you want to see more content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.